but the Netflix thing that's happening in January, another
That was
really
going to be my next
interesting way.
question.
Yeah, so obviously the wording's really weird because in the US they're going to get Raw on there, and then it said everywhere else is going to get everything. So like at some point, Netflix is getting all of it. They're getting the premium live events. They're
Mm.
getting. I'm interested to see how that looks because Netflix really isn't kind of set up to kind of just be a WWE or a sports thing. Like I think they've maybe had one sports event on there before, but this is going to change the game for them. So I'm really excited to see how that looks in January.
I read that as WWE, as the WWE network as we know it, is
Mm.
dead in
Yes.
January. And we're basically the equivalent of Peacock, how
Yeah.
it's been with Peacock in the WWE and the US. I don't know if you viewed it that way.
Yeah, I think 100% you're right. But the interesting thing with Peacock is obviously they do have like I think it's NBC they're linked with, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
already have like the live sports on there. They have different packages where you can get it for free. So anytime you're watching a premium live event and they do those really long, like oh look, there's a Charlotte Flair promo, or here's like a sort of like recap, and I think even sometimes they have like the this is how we got to this, like this is the
Mm,
rivalry so far.
yeah.
But if you've not paid for it and it's a freeview version, then you have to watch all the adverts. So that's why we get those long promos and vignettes and things like that. Is because people have been cheap or it's kind of accessible. So yeah, it'd be interesting when they move to Netflix because well, Netflix doesn't have adverts. So where do we go from there? Do we actually finally get just wrestling and just like all the
I
backstage
think
stuff?
we'll get, like and this is dating this podcast slightly, but oh well. I think we'll get, how on the WWE network, if you're watching a WWE show,
Yes.
and obviously, stupid question, but you're watching a pay-per-view, should I say, and it will cut to WWE shop ads and things
Yeah.
like that. I think we'll get them. I think that's how that will.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. I think they'll keep it as fairly similar as they have been before, but just the whole process because they can't keep the layout of Netflix as it is because it's kind of like obviously
Mm.
everything works on an algorithm and say like here's what you've watched before. When WWE comes into it, that is one of the single biggest chunks of a library you can place on
Mm.
any streaming platform. So if they are going to get every documentary and every past pay-per-view and everything else that goes with it Netflix is going to get exponentially bigger. But let's face it, there's a lot of Netflix people who won't know wrestling, don't like wrestling, have never
Yeah.
seen it before. So how much are they going to push that into like the kind of general consensus? Well, they've spent a lot of money on it, so I'd imagine they'll push it a little bit. But they also need to find a way to separate more, probably like Disney do with like Marvel, and then there's Star Wars, and then there's
Yes,
Disney.
yes, yes, yes.
But Netflix
I
has never done that, so it'd be cool to see how they do it.